Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Samuel here representing Team JVS. Here you guys, another movie review. Hopefully, you guys are having a happy New Year and happy holidays. This is one of my final reviews of the year. I've had a great year. But let me go ahead and get into it. I'm talking about Rob Peace. Rob Peace is based on the actual person, Robert Deshaun Peace, that is a New Jersey native, brilliant, genius level intellect young man that went to Yale, and he went through so much because his dad, whether wrongfully or rightfully, was imprisoned, and he was willing to do anything to help and try to save his father that was incarcerated. So this is a star-studded cast. First off, Chiwetel Ejiofor plays the role of Skeet, the father that is in prison. Mary J. Blige plays the role of Jackie, that is the mother of Rob Peace. Jay Will plays the role of Rob Peace. Michael Kelly plays the role of a person that was kind of a mentor, professor, and mentee. Mayor William Ham plays one of the key roles. Camila Cabrillo plays a role in this as well. It's kind of like the love interest. But Jay Will, a lot of this is resting on just his ability to adapt and truly cement a lot with very little words, and at the same time, just all effort pushed into this human connection to his father and the tragedy that's in between it. So this film was honestly really hard for me to want to come out of it and want to actually review it, because I know plenty of people, that are stuck in a situation like maybe you don't have the kind of finances to try to go and get to where you're trying to get to, whether it's college or whether it's moving. Like, you just don't have the finances, and you do what you can, do odd jobs, and you're just stuck, right? Or you grow up in a very small atmosphere and there's not a lot of opportunities to get out, and then when you do get out, you don't want to just get out alone. You want to try to take people with you, but that's not necessarily something that's practical. I understand and connect with that. And I think that because this story not only is true, but it is very tragic and is very harsh, it wasn't something that I immediately wanted to jump and do a review for. But I will give credit where credit is due. First of all, the chemistry between Jay and Chiwetel Ejiofor is amazing. Like, every scene that they're in, scenes where they're either one meeting at the jail, meeting in between a glass partition, communicating with each other. Heck, even Chiwetel meeting with and talking with the young version of Rob Peace, and those instilling conversations and him teaching him or him learning very quickly and understanding, I connected with. Like, when I grew up, I didn't necessarily have a keyboard or a laptop. I just loved computers, right? And what I ended up doing, I kind of asked, like, hey, can I get a keyboard and whatever? And that's not something that we could do, but it was more so like, how do you encourage somebody that you can't give something to? And so I was like, oh, shoot, I'm going to draw out the letters of what a keyboard actually be, and I'm just gonna practice. And I just learned and I grew, and every magazine I got, I would try to learn and impart something from, or if I was going to Barnes & Noble, I would learn and pick up. So it really did resonate and connect, and I love that aspect of it because they're setting a really good process for the narrative that is this young man's life, so that by the time he gets to Yale, not only does it feel earned, it feels like destined. Like, every small little victory was just amazing. But then, the tragedy of it, the only way that Rob felt like he could be able to help his dad is by making money. The only way he could be able to actually make money is to do something illegal, which connected to selling drugs. And I mean, not to say this is like following the pattern of like Snowfall or Breaking Bad or anything like that, but what you do know is that eventually there are going to be ramifications to your actions. And the more you push into something that is a selling point for somebody that could be nefarious or illegal, it's going to come back at you and it's going to derail everything you're trying to do. And it's crazy because technically Rob, even the way they kind of played this film out and how it was actually directed so well, is that he's living 3 different lives. He was playing the drug dealer, he was playing the duteous son that was trying to go and learn law to be able to help get his dad out. And then at the same exact time, like, he was trying to be the studious student and just the brilliant genius that he actually was. I love the way that they kind of handled certain relationships that he had with certain people. I thought that was really engaging. I think they acted off each other pretty well. I think that the film itself feels very overlong, and I think because it's just so meaty, it's thick. Because the film itself is not, it's 2 hours, but it's like an hour and 59 minutes. I think it tells and fleshes out the story really well. It doesn't feel like autobiography. It just feels like a really well told story. But at times it feels like it drags because it's just so much emotion is poured into certain circumstances that are happening. And again, this is all based on a person's life, so it's up to interpretation. I feel the same that way with A Complete Unknown. Like, it felt like it was so much going on that at times it kind of felt like it was dragging, but that's not necessarily the truth. So I think the pacing was okay. I think they handled a lot of decent cinematography shots. Like, most of the key moments in there were, to me, high impact when you got the 2 main leads together, which is Chiwetel and Jay. I think even like conversations with Mary J. Blige, like her scenes with Rob were amazing. So a lot of them were under, on closed doors and in the dark. So a lot of the scenes that were kind of outside or during the light, I mean, I feel like most of his moments at school were kind of overshadowed by all the darkness or all the things and the consequences of what he's trying to do. So I think that's what lends itself to be really heavy-handed from a tonal standpoint. But I think that was the intent. I don't think it was to try to tell the overarching. I think it was just what was it that was driving this young man, and then what was it that was also tormenting him all at the same exact time. And I think that there's some really good lines of dialogue here. And I think there's one scene with Chiwetel and Jay in the prison that probably was one of the better scenes I've seen this year. Honestly, this film to me is an 8 to 8.5 out of 10. Really well done. Hard to watch. Don't know if I can recommend it to everybody, but I do think it's very important to you go and check it out. So thank you guys so much for watching this review and so many more. This has been an amazing year. Looking forward to 2025. Thank you guys so much for all that you're doing for and with Team JVS. Thank you also, guys, that are supporting our TikTok. It is growing. I'll link it in the description bar below. Definitely go and check it out. There's a lot of interviews there. There's a lot of also other alternative reviews that are not on YouTube. And whether or not TikTok lasts or not is still going to be something that we're going to have as use this platform. But I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys so much. Happy New Year.